Hi, my name is Marguerite. I'm from Russo Music in Asbury Park, New Jersey. I'm sitting down with Marc here from Taylor Guitars at NAMM 2017. What you got?
So, new stuff we have for you this year. We've got a lot of really cool stuff actually, but the thing you need to know is a lot of it's based on all the work we've been doing for the last 3 years. Over the last 3 years, we have pretty much been redesigning every series of our guitars. And when we've been redesigning them, we've come up with a lot of processes that has made this guitar possible. So it's kind of cool. We're talking about the Academy series guitars right here. And effectively, we want to make a guitar for somebody that's just starting out playing. And when you're starting out playing, you need a guitar that's going to play really well. And conventional wisdom says, hey, I'm going to go spend $300 on a guitar. You end up buying something that has really high action, it's hard to play, it's big, it's bulky, it doesn't stay in tune. And the experience of trying to learn is typically very frustrating, or at least not gratifying at all, right? So
Fighting you back.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So our design team basically says, look, we want to make a guitar and create more guitar players. You know, we believe at Taylor that the world obviously is a better place with more guitar players. I'm sure you would agree on that.
I definitely agree.
And so we're trying to give a new guitar player basically every chance to succeed right out of the gate. And so we made a guitar that has everything you need as a starter, but nothing that you don't, okay? No bells and whistles and all the crazy stuff, but all the playability features that we need. In fact, when the design team sat down, Andy Powers is our master designer, sat down with the team, he said, look, what do we need to make a guitar that's perfect for a beginner? And they looked at it and said, well, we need playability, we need durability, and we need affordability. Okay, so addressing playability, the guitar has to play really well, really easy. And so what we did was we made the string spacing a little bit closer together. We also made the string length a little bit shorter, so the strings press down easier, and the string height is lower. So again, all left-hand stuff, really easy to press the strings down, and pairing that with a light gauge string, that really helped to make that doable. The other thing we did is we added this armrest, and this is really cool, right? The armrests, typically these are saved for our more premier guitars, so we have like some really nice high-end guitars where the armrest is carved out after the guitar is made. It's very labor-intensive, takes a lot of time, and it's very skilled, so it's quite expensive. But because these new guitars, these Academy Series guitars, don't have binding, we were actually able to do this with machines, which brings the price point way down. And it's a feature, again, for guitar players who are just starting out, a comfort factor. Your arm's really comfortable there. It keeps your arm off the top of the guitar. You can play longer periods of time when you're practicing. So there's a lot of upside to the playability portion of it. As far as the durability side of the guitars, these are made, they're Taylors. They're made very, very solid. The NT neck joint, it's going to last. It's going to be a guitar you're going to have pretty much for the rest of your life to some capacity. And then we also have on the guitars an optional electronics feature, which you can see here. So the electronics are anything in our name of our guitars. If it has an E after it, that means electronics.
So it's Expression 2?
This is ESB, actually. It goes similar to GS Mini Bass.
Cool.
And we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, I'm excited about that guy.
Yeah, so it's neat. So you can plug the guitar in if you want. But the affordability part of it is also really important to us. We wanted a guitar that, say somebody is coming in for that $300 or $400 entry-level guitar, they can spend $100 or $200 more and get a Taylor that's a real guitar and plays incredibly well. You're going to exponentially increase how much fun you have with the guitar and your likeliness to succeed. So with that in mind, the guitar is really, really ideal for a beginning student, and it could be a beginning student of all ages. We've offering these in 3 different models. We have this is what's called an A10, and this is actually an A10E because of the electronics. The A for Academy, 10 denotes this body shape, which is our dreadnought. But we also make what's called an A12, which is our Grand Concert. It's our smallest body shape. Full-size guitar, smaller though. Plays great, all the same features, and that's more for maybe a finger style or a lighter touch, whereas this you might want to dig in a little bit more on the dreadnought. And then we also made a nylon string version called an A12N. And the only difference with that that's interesting is that the neck is attached at the 12th fret on a nylon string, which is more traditional, but it also brings your left hand closer into your body, so that's kind of a neat thing. So there's something for everybody in the line for the Academy Series. So again, this is our Academy Series, and it's pretty much everything you need in a beginning guitar, but nothing that you don't. So here we have our GS Mini bass. And the bass that we've brought to the table is there's really 3 people we built it for. We built it for bass players, we built it for guitar players that also want to maybe track themselves in the studio, and then also for kids that may be learning from the very onset of playing an instrument. It's a great first instrument. But starting with bass players, I mean, how often are they left out?
Yeah, like all the time.
Right?
Them and left-handers, I feel bad for them, you know?
Have you ever been to the Jersey Shore at a campfire and somebody's got a bass? No, right? Assuming. No, so taking a portable instrument and a bass, to campfires or rehearsals backstage. Often when we do rehearsals backstage for concerts we'll have somebody playing guitar and we'll have the vocalist be warming up. Bass player's always left to sit in the corner playing air bass.
Yeah.
Right?
And even just traveling, like on the road, having somebody you can actually play and hear, that's a huge factor, because bass players don't have that. They're all electric or they're these big, bulky, cumbersome things. So
well, that's the problem is they're big and they typically require amplification, so it makes it not very portable. So you take something like this, say you're on a tour bus and you want to have a full rehearsal, you got the acoustic guitars, vocals, guys banging on pads or whatever.
And the sad bassist in the corner.
That's right. Now he gets to join the party. So it's very cool for that. And again, for the recording guitar player, this is much more comfortable. It's something that we're very comfortable playing because of the size and the whole idea of it is something that a guitar player maybe that doesn't play bass can comfortably play this instrument and lay down some really nice sounding bass tracks for themselves, which is cool. And then lastly, when we're talking about kids playing it, the strings are really easy to play, and I'm going to talk about those in just a second. But because it's so easy to play, even the smallest hands can really fret a note out on here. And when you're playing bass, you're typically playing one note at a time. So it's great for somebody that maybe just wants to learn and experiment with a stringed instrument. So it's a string fretted instrument. So the interesting story behind the guitar, or the bass, I should say. There was 3 things that we really struggled with, that Andy and the design team struggled with. First off is getting the right string, because the weight of the string is going to impact it, especially with such a short scale length. It had to be kind of redesigned from the ground up. So we tried a bunch of different things, and finally we partnered with Diodaria's Strings, and they created a bass string that, check this out, it's got a nylon core, which I've never heard of. I didn't know they did that. Yeah, nylon core with a bronze wrap. That's why it's light and so slinky and feels so comfortable, but the bronze gives it all the tone, and it also gives us a lot of the intonation up and down the neck, really comfortably, good warm bass sounds. And then the second thing, once we solved for that, these bridge pins. Normally with bass strings, you need much more support back here, and it's going to be a little more bulky. And the problem we have is with the bass strings is typically you can't bend them a 90 degree like you can a guitar string because they're so big. Yeah. So Andy Powers, our design master, he basically made these little 2-pronged bridge pins that you push the string in, and the prong comes down, and it pushes the string to the back of the guitar, which makes that break angle more relaxed, right?
Not quite so
and that's get more energy out of the string. It's better for the bass string. It just works. But then the cool thing about it is when the string tightens, it pulls the 2 prongs out, and it holds that bridge pin in place at the exact amount of pressure it needs to keep the string in place, so it locks it. And then when you loosen the strings to change them, it relaxes, you pull the pin out, and it comes right out. It's really clever.
Andy Powers, you smart man.
He's a genius, really.
Really killing it.
When he was showing it to me, he was so excited. He's like, tell me all the ins and outs. So I kind of got it, but the point is it's very, very functional, so much so that we even got a patent on it, and I think we'll be seeing this technology on some things down the road as well. Finally, think about bass tuning pegs. You need a bigger post, right? So this has the bigger post, but the problem with bigger post tuning pegs, you usually have a big winder as well. When you have a big winder, it's going to make the top really heavy, so it's going to kind of balance it out, right? So we worked with one of our tuning manufacturers and developed a bigger post with the smaller machine heads to give it, a much more aesthetic look. It looks right. It looks balanced. It looks cool. And they work really well. But the coolest thing is when you play it.
Crazy resonance and everything.
How loud is that?
Hell yeah.
Again, being in a room like this, you're going, wow, that's really loud.
Yeah.
It's got the whole thing going on. Finally, our ESB, this is our expression system, ESB for the bass. Also has a tuner on board, so you can plug this thing in, you can play live gigs with it. It's very portable, comes with a gig bag, take it on planes, kind of take it wherever you want to go. And the reaction that we've had is you put it in someone's hand, they don't want to put it down.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
I mean, any bass player would be psyched. Are you kidding me? They can play it and not have to struggle to hear themselves.
It's really true. And then and guitar players too. I mean, they're the ones actually they're letting it go even less. So anyway, this is our new GS Mini bass. So the guitar I'm holding here is our 800 Series Deluxe. And this is really kind of going to our normal customer base, our established customer base. We want to give them something new, exciting as well, because with the Academy Series, we brought in new students. We brought in beginners with the bass. We also brought in bass players. So now we're going back to our established customer base with this guitar. Our 800 Series is traditionally our flagship line. And the next series up from that's called a 900. But the 900 Series is very ornate. There's a lot more bells and whistles and all kinds of crazy things on it. But there are also some playability features of the 900 Series, some comfort features that we wanted to incorporate into our 800 Series to kind of have something right in between the 800 and 900. So we took our 800 Series guitar and we added some of those features. And those features really include this right here. That's called a radius armrest with rosewood. It's just absolutely beautiful.
I love those armrests. It really just changes the whole playability of a guitar. You're not reaching around something so much. Right. It's just super comfortable.
You can play them for hours, which is super cool. So they're not only beautiful and comfortable like you mentioned, but check it out, your arm doesn't go on the top of the guitar. It really keeps the top more free to vibrate. and as a result, you get a little more tone out of the instrument. So the other thing we did is we added Adirondack spruce bracing to it, and what that does is it gives us an extra gear. It's like if you throw into 6th gear now. Yep. When you dig in, if you have a heavier pick or a heavier right hand, you really want to dig in. This guitar is going to have more power and more volume. So you couple that with the armrest. Now your arm's off the top, and you're getting the power. It's really a more robust instrument. And then kind of rounding it out, we put on these Godot 510 tuners. These 510 tuners have a 21-to-1 gear ratio, as opposed to an 18-to-1 gear ratio you find on all of our other instruments. An 18-to-1 is more than enough, but the 21, it's 3 more now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now 3 more, it's just really precise. It's super precision, and they got a cool look to them with the nickel finish and all that. So by having these tuners, the guitar stays in tune just perfectly. And then you've got the armrest, and you've got the Adirondack spruce. All of it put together just takes basically our 800 series to the next level. So it's very cool. And we decided to do it in 3 body shapes. So what we did was we took this, which is our most popular body shape, the Grand Auditorium. This is an 814 CE Deluxe. Again, the most popular, but we also did it in our Dreadnought, and that's called an 810E. So you notice the C was missing, and that's because on the 810 we have no cutaway. Okay? We also did our 812 CE 12th fret, which is our smallest body shape with the 12th fret. The only difference with that guitar is you don't have the Godot tuners because it has the slotted peg head, but it still has the armrest and the Adirondack, and it's really a powerhouse for a little guitar. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's so rad.
Good stuff, yeah?
Yeah, oh my God.
Right on.
It's a good way to reinvent them,
I think so.
So again, we're at Russo Music from Asbury Park, New Jersey, sitting down with Marc at the NAMM 2017 convention. If you want to come check us out, you can find us on Facebook and RussoMusicNewJersey.com. We'll see you then. Take care.